We are in one of Jacksonville's newest and hottest communities right now to check out this amazing floor plan right behind me. In just a few seconds, you're about to see some amazing features that this builder put into this floor plan, and we're gonna go over just what it means to live here in Jacksonville, Florida. With that being said, let's get into it right now. All right, let's get right into this one. As you're gonna see right away with this specific floor plan, we have a 3-car garage here. It's a true 3-car garage. So obviously when I say that, it's because again, you don't have that tandem garage like you see with some of these other floor plans, some of these other builders, where it's a 2 from the front, but 3 when you come inside. With this one, you get a true 3-car from the street. And one thing too with this one, this is the one they work out of for their model here. So ultimately that's why you do see the glass doors with that. And that wouldn't obviously stay the case when you buy a home just like this. But as you'll see when we first come in, the first thing I want to point out is these wood look tile floors they put in throughout the home. It's a very nice lighter colored wood, and it's really a color that's become very popular nowadays, and something that I really love to see because it helps the space feel light, feel bright, and feel open, especially when you have these tray ceilings that they have here when you first come in. So here in the foyer, you do get that tray ceiling. And what I think is really cool is they did do the crown molding with it, and they even did some wood inlay or shiplap with the ceiling as well, just to add some additional texture to it, which we don't see too often. So that does bring a good point that if you like that and you want to do something like that in your future home, you have to reach out to me so that we can go over which builders will do that with you, such as the one we're at today, which you'll find more about them as we go through this video, but also, what the cost is to do those things. So again, very important to call, text, or email me, which should be on the screen, to get more information about that for this neighborhood or any other neighborhood. Then as you'll see here, we are now in the office when we first come into this home. And this office here, they actually do the shiplap throughout the whole room. So it's again, a very cool kind of coastal kind of feel to it. Something that I personally really love to see because I do like that coastal element. It's not as modern, it's more that beachy element, but it does pair very well with what we're used to seeing here in Northeast Florida, being the fact that we are right, on the coastline, being here in Jacksonville and whatnot. But overall, great size space. I mean, really an amazing size office here. And that's something that you're gonna notice about this floor plan is a lot of this floor plan, everything is just well sized and well thought out. So really one of my favorite floor plans that I've been in recently and in general, to be honest. And you'll see here too, before we finish off, they did do the recessed lighting, something that you can do with the builder. And they do have everything pre-wired for chandeliers or ceiling fans for most of these bedrooms as well. So overall, I love this space, but to be honest, it does keep getting better. So let's go ahead and keep it on coming. So as we continue to move along throughout this model home tour, first thing I do want to point out before we get to the rest of the house is we do have a half bath here. As you'll see, it's a very good size half bath. It is designed to match ADA compliance right now because this is the model they work out of. But overall, it does show you just the overall size of the space. And it is just nice to have because when you have guests over, you don't have to worry about them using the kids' bathroom if you do have kids, because it's a great floor plan for kids. It really gives guests their own space to use, separate from the rest of the house. So again, nice from that aspect. But let's go ahead and keep it on coming, and let's go now check out the kitchen and the living and the dining room of this amazing floor plan. So as we're coming in here, I do want to just touch on that they do have the tray ceiling for the additional walkway coming in as well. So plenty of trays in this house. One thing about me is I love my tray ceilings. So personally, I love when the builders do that. And you'll see more of it as we come along into this space, which is really where you're gonna spend most of your time in this amazing floor plan. And that is again, the kitchen, the living, the dining, the trifecta, as I say, of the house. So here, you're gonna notice right away, it is wide open to us, something that I do love to see. We all love to have those open floor plans nowadays, but sometimes depending on how it's laid out, it may be too open, maybe not open enough. And I gotta be honest, this one, it's pretty dang perfect for at least what I would love to see. So I'd love to know what your thoughts are too. So feel free to drop in the comments on your thoughts of this overall floor plan. But overall, right away, as you'll notice here, the builder, they did a very nice dry bar over here. You do have your wine cooler or chiller, or also you could use it just for a mini fridge. We have plenty of more cabinetry over here. You could use this as like a little coffee bar if you wanted to. And then what I really love is the builder actually did the the cabinets up to the ceiling, and they really use a nice, lighter colored wood, but darker than the floors. So they don't really compete with each other or clash. They really go well together. And they did the glass inserts for all these cabinets to really be able to show off to the occupants, be able to show off to your guests here in this home, because this is a home that is really all about being able to show people just what you have to offer. And kind of, just one of those things kind of allows you to really just show it off to them. But overall, not sure where I was going with that, but overall, as you'll see here with the living room, one thing that we don't see too often nowadays, but I do love it, is a double tray ceiling. So I know I've already said I like tray ceilings. Well, I absolutely love double tray ceilings, because what it does for the space is it makes the space feel even bigger, even more open, and yet still homey. So you really do get that luxury experience in a very good price point as well, which we will go over throughout this video. But with this tray ceiling, they did the wood inlay, just like we've seen in the other trays. We do actually have the beams across as well, just to kind of break it up some, which I love to see. And then also with it too is you have the surround sound speakers, which is just a nice touch across the board to really just finish the look of it. And really it's one of those things that, if you can do it the builder, I do suggest, because if you're living here and you like to watch sports, or you like to watch different concerts or whatnot, having that in the house really makes it a full experience across the board for you and your family to get everything you want out of it. Now, next to it, we have our dining room. This dining room, because it's such an open floor plan, it is obviously kind of a part of the living room space. So if you're someone who's watching this and you want that more traditional dining room area, you could use the office in the front as that. Or if not, there are other floor plans that could give you more of that traditional dining room space if you desire it. But you have to reach out to me if you want to know more about those floor plans here in this amazing community that we're in today. But this dining room table, it's a 6-seater table. With the size of the space, I can guarantee you could easily do an 8-seater. You probably could even do a 10-seater and it still not feel too large for the space. But if you don't need that much for the dining room and you're gonna maybe eat at your island more so, as you'll see here, we do have 4 really good seats at the island. Just something that's really nice to have, because again, if you don't wanna use the dining room too often, and if you're more, maybe not as traditional, and you just want to be able to just kind of just sit here and be able to converse with everyone while, one's cooking, it does give you that ability with this space here, which I do love. And it's a really great size island as well. Another thing with this island that I do love too is we have this really nice oversized, farm style kitchen sink. So it's one of those things that it really does tie in the coastal with the farmhouse with this floor plan. And it still does in a very elegant way, which I love, when builders can kind of put all that together and make it work. In this case, they definitely do with the porcelain sink. So one of my favorites really does pair well too with the pendant lights that they have here. So just one of those things that sometimes you have to see it to really get the full experience. You see it to believe it. And this is one of those floor plans that really does that for you. Obviously here we do have our oversized fridge, this KitchenAid fridge. This is just, it's just a great space across the board. Gives you everything you need to store all of your cold items. And it definitely still gives that luxury experience at a very much affordable price as well, which we will go over. But as far as the cabinets, like I said, they are the lighter wood. They are all soft close with this model. It is one of those things that the soft close may be an upgrade with the builder. You have to reach out to me to find out more. But ultimately, it's one of those things that I always suggest doing it because it really does finish off the kitchen, in my opinion. As you can see here too, they have the nice vented hood because we do have a gas 5-burner stovetop. And here in Northeast Florida, here in St. Johns County where we're at today, most of these communities are gonna be gas communities now. Something that was not always the case. So it's awesome when we do have that. So we always like to point that out. But also what I want to point out too is they actually did for the backsplash, they actually continue that same quartz countertop for the backsplash as well. So just really clean design that way. It's a much more simplistic design than when you use the different subway tile or other tile. And it's a look that is timeless, especially when they pair it together with all the other items in this kitchen across the board, because the browns in it pair so well with the browns in the cabinets. We do have our single oven here, but we still do get our secondary oven. So we have 2 ovens with this home here with our microwave. So again, just across the board, just really well thought out floor plan, really just gives you everything you would need, everything you would want with this kitchen. You know, it's one of those things that, you know, yes, there are always bigger houses that you could buy, but I mean, this really does, if you're a family of 3 or a family of 4, I mean, it really does give you everything you truly need. Or if you're just starting a family, you really don't need much more than this. I mean, you could easily do more, but you don't necessarily need more. Just really quickly, I just want to touch on a couple items here before we move on. We do have our walk-in pantry here, really great size. One thing I did not mention is on the other side of the kitchen, we do have a secondary pantry as well. So 2 pantries are always a plus. And then here, because this is their sales center that they work out of, this is where they have their copy room, but this is where you would also have your washer dryer normally. Just to kind of show you, what it would look like. And we do have a little sitting area here, a little bench for obviously when you come in from your 3-car garage to be able to take your shoes off before you come into the rest of the house. So really, across the board, I don't always spend as much time in a kitchen, living, dining room while I'm going through these home tours, but this one truly honestly deserved it. And it really is one of those features about this house that I absolutely love. But we're not done yet. We're gonna keep this thing chugging along. And the next thing we're gonna check out are the guest bedrooms and bathroom right now. All right, so let's go ahead and keep this thing moving along. And the biggest thing with this space here is, again, this is gonna be the wing of the house for guests, for your kids, across the board, just a space for them to be able to retreat back into, to be able to have for themselves. And right away, as you'll see with this room, it's a very great size room. They do give us a couple of recessed lights in here to go with the chandelier, which again, you could easily swap that out for a ceiling fan. We do have our sliding doors here. The sliding doors, and again, something I hadn't mentioned yet, but across the whole home, the builder did do more of that craftsman finish with the trim. With the craftsman finish, it's something that is sometimes a little bit more pricey because the craftsman, the carpenter, does it on site. They cut everything on site for it. So it's just one of those things that there's more labor to it. But to be honest, I always love seeing that because it gives it a higher end feel as well. So in my opinion, it's always worth the money. But overall here with the sliders, it's one of those things, if you know me, you know that I hate bifold doors. So anytime the builders do the sliders here, I do love seeing that. I love too the fact that they kept the high doors to match the rest of the doors in the house. So just really great thought process across the board with this builder. So again, just one of those things that if you want to know more about this floor plan, this builder, or where we're at today, do not hesitate to reach out to me. You can call me, text me, email me. You can set a time on my calendar. My goal is to help you answer any and all questions you may have about this specific floor plan and this specific builder. Then here, as you'll see when we come into this bathroom, right away you'll notice it's a very good sized space. We obviously have the tile with the insert here for your toiletries. One thing that I would like to have seen is maybe the tile up to the ceiling. I'm sure you could do it with the builder. It would probably be an upgrade, but it just gives it more of a complete, more of a finished look. So that's just more maybe me being picky, but things that I like to see is up to the ceiling. In this case, it's still a very beautiful bathroom. You do have your 1 tub because you always need to at least have 1 tub in any house. If you want to know why that's the case, again, reach out to me, I'll go over it with you. Then here you'll see we do match the cabinets and the countertops to the kitchen. So it's always nice when the builder does that. And we do still have the soft close with everything. So again, it's just one of those things, like you can just kind of slam it. It's always gonna close nice and soft. Then lastly, we have our second bedroom here. This bedroom is also a good size, maybe a tad bit smaller than the first one. But again, with these tall ceilings, you don't feel like it's small. In this case, we do have our nightstands, we have our full-size bed, we have our dresser right here, and you could easily still put more stuff in the space if you needed to, or just bigger furniture without it feeling too tight per se. Then it's something that's minimal, but I do like too that they did kind of like a little accent wall there with the wood trim. Just one of those things to show you what you could do with your space, whether if you're looking at buying new construction or not. Just in general, it's a great thing to be able to see just what's in style, because builders are always going to try to do what are either the current trends or what they believe will be the future trends. Something to keep in mind. Obviously with the window here, it does bring in a lot of natural light. So, you know, here in Florida, we're all about having that natural light, keeping things light and bright. So love seeing that. But we're not done just there yet. We now will actually check out the primary bedroom next. All right, so you're gonna love this primary. I know I do. So let's go and check it out now. So as we come in here, right away, you're gonna see this expansive room here. I mean, again, for this floor plan, for the size that it is, which we will get into in just a moment, it's just so well laid out, and the space where you want it is there, such as this primary bedroom. You know, as you can see, we have multiple windows in the space to provide tons of natural light. We have massive nightstands, great size king size bed, good size dresser, and even a chair over in the back corner as well, just to show and highlight just how nice and how large of a space this primary retreat really is. In addition, you know, they put a really nice chandelier here. You could obviously do an oversized fan if you wanted instead. You have multiple recessed lighting, and they even did the shiplap wall to have that accent wall, again, bring that coastal element back into your primary retreat. But it keeps getting better, because as we come into this primary bathroom, you know, you're gonna see right here, they continue the same cabinets and countertops that we had in the kitchen. So again, there's that uniformity that we wanna see, but you also get this walk-in shower on the other side. So this walk-in shower here, it's kind of cool because it's tucked back into here. So we'll actually, you know, bring it on in so you can see it. And with this walk-in shower, they give us a nice bench to be able to sit on. You do have this area here to store all your toiletries, all your soaps, your shampoos. You have your shower heads here with the handles over here, so you don't have to worry about getting wet when you turn the shower on. And even better, you get the rain head with it. Now the rain head seems minimal, but I'm telling you, once you've had the rain head, you wanna always have it. You don't wanna ever not have it moving forward. In addition, we have the tile up to the ceiling, so they followed my advice on this bathroom, and having some of the glass there, you know, kind of encloses the space, but still also keeps it open to, you know, to obviously keep it, you know, nice and light and bright. We do have our water closet here as well, or our powder room, depending on how you call it. And then we get to our walk-in closet. Now this walk-in closet, I mean, this thing is massive. Obviously, they did do more just the basic storage options here with the wired shelving. But I mean, just look at the space. I mean, the fact that I can walk around the way I can right now, and the fact that it's even as deep as it is back in here, I mean, it is an amazing primary closet for an amazing floor plan, because it really does, for the size, give you everything you could want and need in this primary you know, retreat. So honestly, it's one of my favorite aspects of this house. Obviously the kitchen's another one, but the backyard also has something to say too, about trying to be just as nice as these spaces. So with that being said, let's go and check out this backyard right now. All right, so ending now with the backyard, you know, right away what I wanna show you is what they did with the sliding glass doors here. So some builders, they'll do it where you open it up from one side and it comes all the way over. With this builder, what I love here that they did is they actually did more of almost like an accordion effect with the doors, to where they actually open up on both sides. And what's even better is they tuck in behind the walls, so you can truly open up from the inside to the outside and vice versa, to really make it one true entertaining space, one true living space for you and your family here in Jacksonville, Florida. So as you'll see here when we first come out, and this is all covered by the way, obviously, but they did a very nice outdoor kitchen here. So that's a spot here if you wanted to get like a green egg or whatnot. We do have our trash in the middle. And then we do have our gas grill that is vented out as well. So very well thought out across the board. You know, nice granite countertops with it to really maximize the space and really allow you to be able to truly, you know, entertain outside just as well as you could entertain inside. And we do have a couple spots here too for what appears to be maybe like ice maker or just like additional fridge space. So really cool concept there with it as well. Then as we continue here for the cover space, you're gonna see that we have a nice large 8-seater table. Again, you could easily fit this one inside as well, but kind of shows you just what you can do out here. And again, what I love is the fact that all this is covered with one roof line, so you have that ability to still entertain even if the day is not as nice as it is right this second and we have rain or whatnot. So personally, I love that because it really does allow you to still utilize your whole yard, your whole exterior area, the same way you can utilize the interior. Now, the builder here, they did leave everything open, but you could easily screen it in for reference. And again, it does show you kind of the size of it. And then as we get further along with it, you'll notice here too that they actually did the extended paver back porch, and they even did a little putting green here. So it's one of those things, kind of gives you a very low maintenance backyard, really does allow you to be able to truly enjoy your weekends, not having to slave over, mowing and edging and weed eating your yards. So it really allows you to just kind of enjoy living here in Jacksonville. But overall, love the little putting green. There's a lot of golf courses here in Northeast Florida, here in Jacksonville. So it's one of those things that if you don't golf, you might want to get into. If you do golf, you're gonna have plenty of options to choose from here. And then lastly, they actually do have over here as well, already pre-wired to mount a TV onto this beautiful gas fireplace. And this is one of those things that, again, would separate you from your neighbors, really give you a focal point that no one else can say they have, and really is a cool feature across the board to be able to hang out at during some of the cooler months, maybe during March Madness or during the NFL playoffs, college playoffs. So one of those things that's just really cool to see, especially as you're looking out into your pond behind the home. So what this does is it really does mean that a house like this, and obviously not every house is gonna have this lot, but a house like this does give you privacy to where you only really have a couple neighbors, one on each side with no one really behind you. Obviously across the lake there's some other houses, but it really is a very much private lot. And that's the cool thing about this neighborhood we're in today is most of the lots here are just like this. So with that being said, let's now go over just where we're at today, why this is one of the newest and upcoming neighborhoods here in Jacksonville, and overall why people choose to live in and move to Jacksonville, Florida. All right, so I gotta be honest, what was your favorite feature of this amazing floor plan we're in today? For me, it's really a toss-up. I love the backyard. I love the beautiful primary ensuite as well as the primary bedroom. But honestly, this kitchen, it's probably tops for me. But I'd love to know your thoughts as well, so leave those in the comments or reach out to me and tell me just what you love the most about this specific floor plan. But overall, today we are actually here out at the Landings in St. John's. So this is a neighborhood that's built by Pulte Homes. And what's really cool about this neighborhood is they have a mix of 55 and up with their Del Webb section, and they also have their non-55 and up for their overall, the rest of the section of the community. And ultimately why that's cool is because if you're looking for something multi-generational, but you can't find that, this could give you a best of both worlds where you could be a neighborhood with parents or grandparents, but still be able to have your own home while they have their own home and still all be super well connected in here. And another cool aspect with this neighborhood is that all their sections are all gated. So that's something that's really a cool aspect as well with this community. But overall, Pulte is definitely one of the top builders in the area. They've been here for quite a while and we have a great experience with them. So we always enjoy working with them and seeing just what they do here in the area. With this neighborhood, ultimately there's gonna be some amazing amenities with it. Like I already mentioned, it is gonna be a gated community, but what's really cool too is they're actually gonna have some boat and RV storage within the community, and they're gonna have a beautiful amenity center as well. It's not ready just yet, but we're not too far away from it, hopefully next year or so from it being finished and available for all the residents in the community. So a lot of great features there. And with where we're at, it does put us a little bit more inshore. So if you're moving here and you don't want to be right next to the beach or too close to the ocean, this could be a great neighborhood for you. A little more rural as far as the overall area for now, but one of those things that as time passes, this is an area that's going to see massive development. So it's going to be an area that really does, come on the radar and could end up being an area a lot like what we're used to seeing with neighborhoods like Rivertown or Silverleaf or Nocatee. But what I do like about this neighborhood specifically is even though the area might, get bigger and have more traction over time, this community is actually gonna be a fairly small community compared to some of those other ones, to where you're not talking about having 10,000 plus homes. No, this is not one of those communities. This is gonna be a little more private, maybe a couple thousand homes tops. and really does give you that small neighborhood feel, but still getting all those amenities that you get in some of those much larger neighborhoods as well. But overall, with this neighborhood, things that I do like is, you are still within 45 minutes or so from most, most major attractions. So again, if you want to go down and watch the Jacksonville Jaguars play, you're probably about 45 minutes away from there. If you're trying to go to the beach, you're probably about 45 minutes away from the beach. St. Augustine, amazing city, oldest city in the US. St. Augustine's only about 45 minutes to an hour away. It's a great weekend experience, great for a day trip. Well worth checking out and checking the fort and St. George Street over there. But also, if you need to make it to the airport, the airport's only about an hour away. We also have our Jacksonville Zoo and Gardens, which is probably about an hour away. And we do have hubs like Durban Pavilion and St. John's Town Center that are still going to be 45 minutes or less to some of those major hubs for shopping and restaurants and other miscellaneous things you can do at those places. So even though it is a little more rural, you still are not that far away from everything else. Now, obviously the thing you want to know about the most is is what floor plan we're in today. Well, I know I've been holding out on you, so here is the floor plan. We're in the mahogany floor plan, obviously built here with Pulte Homes. In this mahogany floor plan, it's a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath is how it starts. So you can obviously, add more from there. Floor plan does come with a 3-car garage. And what's really cool is, believe it or not, this floor plan's only, I say only because it feels so much bigger than that, 2289 square feet. So you get a really well-designed, really well laid out floor plan. And at 2289 square feet, really gives you everything you could want and need. As far as the price, this is where it gets even better. Their starting price on this specific floor plan, which is built in their estate section, which is their 60-foot wide lots, starts in the mid-5s and roughly around $555,000 for their starting price to get this exact floor plan that we're in today. So a great price. It is subject to change. So it's one of those things that the prices do change constantly. So if you want to know what the price is right this second, you got to reach out to me so I can go over all of that plus more, such as their current incentives. So Pulte right now is offering some amazing incentives for this community. Another one of those that is always subject to change. And one of those too that, depending on which section of the landings you choose and which floor plan you choose, your incentives also change with it. So overall, if you want to know exactly what those incentives are right this second, reach out to me. You can call me, text me, email me, schedule time on my calendar, which you can do that by going to the description of this video. And I will have a link to my calendar on there. Whatever the case may be, I'm always here to help you when it comes to determining which neighborhood, which builder, which floor plan makes the most sense for you and your family. Because again, when it comes to living in Jacksonville, there's a lot of areas you can choose from. So ultimately my goal is to help find the best area for you and help answer any questions you have. So that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.